This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so yesterday we had introduction about RDBMS features, and then we had started with the type of SQL, that is DRL, or it is also called
Just
as.
one related question. Uh, so hopefully, I will be able to. I mean, the payment will be able to reach to uh, to the account shared with me. So when will I get the recordings?
Um, See, those administrative aspects I'm not known about.
So that's what I'm like. Is she there, Deepti?
You have to check with her.
Okay, I think she's not here right now. Okay. Okay, I'll talk to her in personally. Okay, no problems.
Okay, fine. So we were talking about writing queries we're not making any changes to the database right now. Right now
Mhm.
we are just firing select statement. That means fetching data from the server. So the client will be getting connected to the database on the database server,
Mhm.
and once the connection is established, the session begins. Okay.
Mhm.
So this session, what do you mean by a session? Session means whenever there is a connection between a client and a server, some memory is allocated for the entire request and response,
Mhm.
and wherein now the queries can also get executed. That is called as a session. So the
Where is
variable
the memory allocated?
on the server.
Okay, on the server. Okay.
So those, let's say I have declared some variables, or I have some cursors declared, etc., etc. So they are
Mhm.
session specific. That means
Mhm.
once the session is expired, or once you are disconnected, those values will not be available.
Mhm.
Fine. So that is what we mean by a session. So a
So
client saying
which value will not be available?
values which are temporary, like values or a variables holdings value, okay, or the programs which are not in the compiled format. Like I am using, let's say, whenever I'm writing programs, I may be writing anonymous programs
Mhm.
which are written like queries. Okay, I write a select statement and I get the result. But next
Mhm.
time when I log in again, is that query available to me? No,
No.
I have to
No.
rewrite that query, isn't it?
Okay. Okay.
That
Yes.
session specific.
Right.
Okay, or there is a variable X which is holding a value of, let's say, salary of Smith.
Mhm.
Fine. And then I'm using that variable for some places.
Mhm.
But that variable's value will not be available in the next session,
Mhm.
right?
So
So,
my another question, related question would be this, that in what conditions do you use variables? Because I think I have not practiced using variables, like defining a variable and then seeking the value of that variable, or
when we
using
will
that
study
variable.
programming part, when we will
Okay.
study programming part, at that time we will study variables.
Okay, got it.
Okay, fine. So, what I was telling you was whenever we send a request, a client sends a request to the database server, and after receiving the request, the server processes that data and then it gives you the set of rows.
Mhm.
Okay, that is what happens when I fire a select statement. So we
Mhm.
are fetching the data from the server. We are not manipulating or we are not changing anything to the database. We are just generating reports.
Mhm.
Fine. So there is a small introduction about TSQL. See, when I'm
Mhm.
talking about SQL Server, I fire queries using TSQL. It's a
Mhm.
language of SQL Server. So
Mhm.
TSQL is also called as Transact SQL.
Mhm.
Okay, so we use it in dynamic SQLs. Then, if like for example, if it is Oracle, that becomes PLSQL. That is its own product.
Mhm.
And when I'm talking about a particular product's query, then it has got its own features. Like you can see, there are 3 points here. Uh, See, if I'm using Oracle, from clause is compulsory.
Mhm.
But for SQL Server, it has given me a liberty like this. For
Mhm.
example, I'm saying
Come on.
select 6 plus 7. So for such kind of calculations, if at all the table is not available, then
Mhm.
I can skip the table name. But this
No.
becomes a big
What
error
did you
in
say?
Oracle.
I'm sorry. What did you say? You said we can skip the table.
Table name.
We can skip the
From
table name. We are not
from
select
clauses
from.
compulsory.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So from is not there. And uh, can you give me a business example when would we need such a thing?
See, most of the times for calculations.
So so
I'm not
so
referring to any table right now. Okay,
yeah.
I
True.
don't want a table. I just want to
I
calculate.
So what is that business scenario when we would need to calculate some we want to perform an operation, say multiplication, division, or a square root, but
Hmm.
I'm not able to imagine any business situation when I will go and compute something in the uh, in the SQL query editor, or if
Hmm.
you can give me another 30 seconds. Excuse me, sorry. Then uh, it's like I store this value in a variable and then I use that variable somewhere.
Hmm. Like that value is already there. Let's say it's a value of pi. Okay,
Hmm.
3.14, and then I am multiplying that value with let's say diameter or something.
Yes, to
Okay, so
calculate.
for that I do not need any table name. I'm not retrieving that value from the table. I
Hmm.
want to calculate it.
Hmm.
Okay, so for that constant value, I may be multiplying it by some value or dividing it. I want to find out the percentage, so I'm
Hmm.
dividing it by 100. In such
Hmm.
scenarios, I can directly, only use select statement.
Okay,
So this is a feature of SQL Server specifically.
okay. We cannot do compute operations in other servers. In other.
Yes, no. Uh,
Okay.
In Oracle, if you want to do such operations, then there is a dummy table provided by Oracle. So in that
Hmm.
case, let's say if you are using Oracle, you will have to say 6 plus 7 dual. So at least one table name is required if you are using Oracle. So dual is one column, one row table, and then now you can perform such operations.
So, such a table would be a single cell actually,
Yes, it is provided by Oracle. It's a dummy table
dummy
created by
table.
Oracle for such purposes.
Okay, okay. So if we write
because
even in
form
in
there is
SQL,
compulsory.
even in SQL Microsoft Query Editor, if we write select 6 plus 7 from dual, it gives 13, or it would not
Not
give.
no.
Oh, okay, got it, got it. Just one related question. Uh, uh, when we go to development side, SQL development and programming side, we get to see the SSDT, where we talk about the reporting and the
Mm-hmm.
SSAS and IS.
Mm-hmm.
No, my question is, are we going to discuss those three things?
No, no. Our focus is database programming. See, basically, when you install SQL Server, it asks you or it gives you options of all these. Right now, what we are working is SSMS, that is SQL Server Management Studio.
Mm-hmm,
Okay, and those IS, AS, and RS, they are basically they belong to BI stream,
mm-hmm,
business
mm-hmm,
intelligence. Okay, so IS is related to integration services, AS is analytical services, and RS is reporting services.
mm-hmm.
So it's a different story altogether. So these are business intelligence tools provided by SQL Server.
Okay, okay, got it.
Okay, fine.
Mhm,
And then see, in SQL Server, most of the times, this string values they are not case sensitive.
mhm,
Fine. Wherein some other products they may be case sensitive. For example, if you have Smith written in small letters and you are comparing Smith in capital letters, it will give you error or it will not give any rules. But in case of SQL Server, it gives you liberty. Even if Smith is in small letters and you're comparing it with capital letters, it will still give you the records. That
mhm.
is a thought created by SQL Server. Okay.
Okay.
Then,
Would you would you would you share this content with me?
yes,
Okay, thank you.
then there may be some proprietary functions. There are all proprietary functions to every product. Okay,
Mm-hmm,
like Oracle has a function called as decode, which is not available in other, uh, uh, products.
mm-hmm,
Similarly, SQL Server also has its own proprietary functions other than the ANSI functions. That is, there's a function called as is null to check whether
mm-hmm.
the value is null or not, or date,
Then
time, top,
so
etc.
this is in SQL Server.
Yes, this is all SQL Server. TSQL
And
is Transact SQL. It's all about
why do
SQL
you
Server.
call them why do you call them single row functions?
Single row functions we are going to study eventually. At that time, we will discuss.
Okay, okay,
Fine.
okay. Yeah,
So,
yeah. Fine.
so this was the introductory part of it. Okay, so yesterday we have talked about selecting all the data, and then we had talked about selecting few columns. Fine. Now we are going to talk about performing operations on the data. So, to perform operations, we need some operators. So the
Mm-hmm,
first type of operators that we are going to talk about, they are called as arithmetic operators.
mm-hmm,
Fine. So
mm-hmm.
all of us know mm, the way they behave, and we are going to talk about addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division.
Yeah, we
So,
can leave this. We can
uh,
leave the basics.
yeah, but I just wanted to tell you about the priority of the operators.
Okay, that's important. Yeah.
Uh, do you know the concept of derived attribute?
Yes, derived attribute. Uh, derived attribute. Uh, Give me a hint, but don't tell me the answer, please.
Okay.
Can you give me a hint? I've forgotten.
Calculate.
Derived attribute. Derived attribute. So there is an entity, and there's an entity, and there are attributes. In a derived attribute, yes. So that is by definition would be an attribute which would need two other attributes to reach to its final value. So some sort of operation would need to be performed. An operation or more than one operation would need to be performed to get the value of the derived attribute.
Do we store it in our database?
Actually not. It would not be ideal to store. There can be hundreds of derived attributes from given set of primary attributes. So as and when required, we can create a separate column for derived attributes.
How do we represent derived attribute on ERD?
In ERD, so it's a oval with we circle it in an oval way, or it is combined by dashed line, or there is a solid line. Either of these three. I'm forgetting.
Oval, oval with dotted lines.
Oval with dotted lines, right? Oval with dotted
Okay.
lines. Yeah.
Basically, derived attribute is the attribute which has come up with the calculated values. Okay, and the purpose is we do not store data
Mm-hmm.
of these attributes. They are very much, they belong to a particular entity, but we do not physically store them as a columns in the table.
Mm-hmm.
A very good example is age.
Mm-hmm.
Age of employee is a derived attribute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so once I store birth date of an employee, I can definitely calculate the age, isn't it? Because it keeps on changing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no point in storing it and updating it every day. It
Mm-hmm.
can be calculated runtime when I am firing a select statement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for using such derived attribute, we require different operators. So which can be calculated runtime. Fine.
Yes.
So now, if you can just tell me about this.
About what? Okay.
We have this table with us, right? This employee table is with us, and we have
Mm-hmm.
this salary column with us. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
suppose I want to find out
Yeah, monthly salary into 12.
right. So
Mm.
do we have to store this value into the table?
No.
So this should not be a column. So this can be a derived attribute. So I may say ename sal, comma sal into 12, right,
Mm-hmm.
from ENT.
Select cell into 12. What would be the name of that column once it comes out?
That, that way will come to later on. So
No
as you
column
can,
name. Okay.
yes,
Okay.
so it has, this is the salary and this is multiplied by 12.
Mm-hmm.
So this becomes the annual salary of that person,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this
Mm-hmm.
is our derived attribute. This
Mm-hmm.
is this particular expression. How does it work is this particular expression, it gets applied on every row extracted by the query.
Every row extracted by the query. Each row will have this value next
Yes.
to, yes, yeah, very
So
definitely.
if at all the select statement fetches 5 rows, 5 times
Mhm.
this expression gets calculated.
Yeah, but ename salary, what makes this query represent everything? This is the ename, and salary is the salary of that particular employee with the name, and then how it is getting reported in the form of table. That is the nature of SQL, that it reports the output in the form of table, and we have given two attribute names. So the attributes get arranged in the form of table, right?
It's not table actually. It's in the form of report. Okay. So this is not a table. I cannot see the structure of this table.
True, true. Technically, table is the wrong word
Hmm.
to wrong
It is
thing
in
to
the
call
form of
this thing.
report. It has got headings and then
Mhm.
the values of those headings.
Right. Can it be called something else? Can this query output? Some people say,
It's called
what
as a
will the
report.
query?
That's it. To generate
We can
report.
generate report. Even a single cell, which is an output, can be called as the report.
Record. This
Record. Okay.
this is
Yeah,
called
single.
record.
Yeah,
Or
single
if
row
you
is a record.
that
Yeah.
it is called as tuple.
Tuple. Yes. Tuple. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Got
So
it.
this is what we were talking about. We were talking about the attributes, arithmetic operators. But then this was very simple innocent type of expression. But generally we have got very complicated expressions wherein, for example, I want to find out the total salary, which will be like uh, PF, then DA. So there will be some addition, subtraction, multiplication. Net to basic, add some, you know, what values, which are some kind of bonuses, etc., etc.
HRA, and all
Right,
those
right.
things.
So all that stuff will come into picture, and then my calculation will become very complex. In
Mm-hmm.
such cases, in such cases, then I have to be careful about the operators, arithmetic operators that I'm using amongst different columns or within themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I must be aware of the priority of the operators. So
Mm-hmm.
I suppose you must be aware of the BODMAS rule.
Yes.
Okay, so even the same rule applies to our database also. Okay, after all, it's a
Okay.
theory. Okay, so the
Mm-hmm.
same rule is applied here also. Like multiplication and division, they take priority over addition and subtraction.
True. Would you
So
a related question?
the
Okay.
priority,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
to change the priority of the operators, what we need to do is we need to use parenthesis. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
among them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like our mathematical calculations. The same rule applies here also.
Yeah.
Uh,
Since you spoke about mathematical thing, can I ask a question?
hmm.
So you're doing theory here. So would you also touch up on relational algebra and relational calculus?
In the sense, really.
Uh, Relational algebra, which is like the operations on the select and project operations.
I'm going to talk about set operators.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
So now, will both these queries give me the same answers or not?
Select ename salary 12 into salary plus 100. So it will be like 12 into salary is separate and plus 100 is separate. Once you do plus, so you solve salary plus 100 first and then you multiply. No, the answer, the output is going to be different.
So which operation will be performed first in the first query?
In the first one, the multiplication comes first and the addition comes later.
Okay. And in the second query?
Second query, select ename, comma, sal. The bracket gets solved first. So the salary, the addition is done first.
Right. Say, so this is the difference between the priority. In the first example, first salary will be multiplied by 12. So first it will find out the annual salary, and to that annual salary it will add 100. Whereas in the second example, first it will add 100 to the salary and then it will multiply it by 12. So when you are
Yes.
writing complex calculations, you must be very sure that how you want that operations to be getting calculated, right? So I do not have to
Yes. No
execute
need
the
to spend
query.
too long.
Hmm.
Yeah. No need to write a query in this.
Hmm. Right.
So we can save time. I mean, we can go a little faster. Yeah. This is
Yes.
important. Defining a null value.
So null values. See, when I'm talking about a database, null values are always important values. They are like handled with care, a label. Why? Because tell me, is space a null value?
So space has a ANSI code. It is not a null value.
It is. It has a ASCII code.
ASCII code. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's an ASCII. It has an ASCII code.
So, is zero a null value?
No, zero has a
Value, right?
zero is
Because
like zero.
it
Yeah,
was a value, right?
yeah,
So when I'm saying null value, that means a value which is simply not available or not known, right?
right,
Space is a value. Double quotes is also a value. Quote
right.
unquote is also a
Yes,
value, and
right.
zero is also a value. Okay.
Yeah,
So null means it is not applicable or simply void, not available.
right.
So operations which are using null values in their arithmetics, they yield to null.
Mhm.
Do you remember maybe in college days there used to be a chart like values true, false, and null. There was a table. So what happens with true, false with null, true with
Absolutely,
null. Okay.
absolutely. If you
Everything
Karnoff's map,
is like
Karnoff's map in C language,
hmm. So those operations, I mean, the chart holds true here as well. Because after all, this is a theory, right? Relational theory. So
right?
those will also get applied here.
Yes.
Fine. So if I ask you to write a query like find total salary of employees. So
Just related
what,
question. Do you share the notepad file with me?
this one?
Yeah.
I mean the questions type, right?
The notepad file. Yeah, the questions you're writing or something you're explaining.
Okay.
Okay. Find total salary of employees. Yeah.
So
It'll
what
be
will
like
I do? How will I write the query?
so it'll be like complex select employee, comma, name, comma, salary into uh the sum has to be given precedence. So the
No,
sum has
total salary is the salary of the employee as well as the commission of the employee.
salary of the employee as well as
Commission of the employee.
commission. So it's gonna be again now annual salary. Okay, so you're just the sum of these two actually, or you would want total annual salary.
No, just a total salary.
Total
How
salary
much?
will be name, comma, uh, number, comma, salary plus this thing, just the sum
So
from
uh,
EMP.
I would say ename, comma, sal, comma, commission, comma. Now we have a derived attribute here. Sal plus commission.
Sal plus commission. Yeah.
Right? So
Right.
I'm displaying name, salary, and commission for my reference, and then I am displaying one more calculation here, salary plus commission. Now let us see how this query works out. If you can see, I want you to focus on this record.
Mm-hmm.
Smith, this poor guy, he is earning 800 and he
Mm-hmm.
is not having any commission.
Mm-hmm.
His final salary at least should be 800, isn't it?
Yes.
But that is not happening.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
the fellows who are eligible for commission, they get proper total salary. But the
Yeah.
persons who are not eligible for commission, they don't even get the salary,
Yes.
isn't it? So the
Yes.
conclusion is anything to null gives you null.
Anything. And is it a product or is it a sum?
The calculations with null, they yield null.
Is it always the case?
Yes. See, even if I would have said select,
That to
so
definitely would have been null in
isn't it?
case of null because coordinate Cartesian product will be zero.
Yes,
Multiplication with zero is zero, but sum with zero, though null is not not zero actually in SQL terms.
exactly. So the values I am, trying to calculate along with a not null value. So the
Hmm.
priority is the null value. Getting my point. So
Yes.
we will park this question for the time being. Later on, when we will study functions, at that
Hmm.
time I'm going to revisit this problem. Okay,
Okay.
so we are going to find a solution for such scenario. What is to be done if you come across null values?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So I just want you to identify right now the problem scenario here. So this is what we were talking about, nulls. Now we are going to talk about aliases or alias. Some of them do call it as. Now, if you can see, whenever we use derived values, okay,
Hmm.
then these columns, they expressions, these I cannot say columns, these expressions, they are not part of my table, right? So, as they are not part of my table, they do not have any column headings.
Hmm.
So when I'm generating a report, this is not professional to display a report in such specific way, isn't it?
Hmm. Hmm.
Or even if apart from expressions, Sal is not a proper column heading as well, even though it is from the table, isn't it?
Hmm.
So it
Hmm.
should be it should be a complete name, salary, or
Yes.
employee name, something of that sort. Okay. So
Yes.
when I'm generating report, it should have proper column headings and properly generated report. So
Hmm.
just because it is a column name, I cannot display it as it is. But
Hmm.
we can use something called as aliases.
Hmm.
Aliases are another name given to that column or that expression.
Hmm.
Does that mean that I'm changing the name of the column in the table? No, I'm not
No.
making any structural changes to the table here.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
True.
just changing the reports heading.
Hmm.
Okay, so now we'll discuss how to provide aliases to the column headings. Fine.
Hmm.
So the first one is I should give a space and say as, and then say total underscore sal. So
Hmm.
I'm going to execute it. Right?
Right.
What difference do you see here? Now we have got the heading, column heading as total salary.
Right.
So the expression is now not unknown expression. We come to know that okay, this is the total salary of it. Or
Hmm.
even for the column headings, I can say give a space and then say salary. So what is the fundamental thing that I'm trying to tell here is as is optional keyword. It's a keyword. You can see it. It's in blue color. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So either you say as and then the alias name, or you just give a space and then give the alias name.
No, I did not get the second part. As one way is to write as, or the other way. Can you do the other way also?
Like you can see here, after the column name, I did not write as. I just gave a space and then I gave the alias name as salary.
Okay. So it is kind of interpreted as salary.
Yes. So as keyword is optional.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
And then suppose I have to write like this. Total salary. I'm getting an error. Why I'm
Mhm.
getting an error? Because it understood that after as I have to give alias. But then after that also there is one more space, isn't
Right.
it? So
Yes.
it is getting confused for it. So
It has to be a single name.
earlier why did not it give me error? Because there was underscore.
Underscore. Yes.
So if you want a space in the alias name, you need to put it in double quotation marks.
Right.
Okay. So we there are three things that we talked about. Alias is alias names given with as keyword.
Mm-hmm.
Then this was the first one. Then alias names given without without this word this thing, that is
Mm-hmm.
without as, with as, without as. And then the third one is using, so the third one is using
Only space.
hmm, okay.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like this, I'm saying net space salary, like that. Fine. So
Mm-hmm.
these are three different ways in which you can provide the alias names.
Mm-hmm.
So that was about the topic of alias that we had just gone through.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I'm typing this, these all are case sensitive, right? For example, if I'm typing total space salary here, and then I'm executing this query, what you see here is total salaries in capital letters.
Mm-hmm.
So the string that you are putting in double quotes, it comes as it is as a column heading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you want the column headings to be in capital letters, put them in double quotation and then use them.
Mm-hmm.
So by default, they will not come in capital letters.
Okay.
Huh? Right. So it's a case sensitive aliases if you are using in double quotes.
Did you mention in the notes this the same thing?
Which one in that notepad file?
No, in the present PowerPoint, is it mentioned that it alias is a case sensitive thing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. That works.
Okay, so concatenation operator.
I asked you this question in the last class, concatenation versus joins.
Yes. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
Salary. Uh, Department number, or I would say job. Okay. Now, suppose I execute the query this much,
Mhm,
ename and job. Fine. Now,
mhm,
ename and job, both of them are in two different columns, isn't it?
mhm.
What if I want to combine them? If you remember yesterday, I have given you an example of this thing, first name and last name.
Yes,
Okay.
that would be
So
concatenation.
that would be concatenation. So we have explored just a while ago arithmetic operators. Now we
Mhm,
are going to explore something called as concatenation operator. It is an
mhm,
operator. Okay. So it gets applied to each row retrieved by the query. So in Oracle, the operator is two pipes. In SQL Server, the operator is plus. Plus is the
mhm,
symbol.
mhm,
Fine. So now, if I am going to use inquiry like ename and job, okay.
mhm,
Instead of comma, now I am going to use a plus operator, and now I'm going to execute this query. So what do we get here? We get here Smith, clerk, Allen, salesman, isn't it? But this entire thing in one column, we are getting it here,
mhm.
right? So I can give alias name to it later on. That's not a question. This
But
is quite clumsy, isn't it?
yes, that
So
was my question.
what should
We
we
need
do?
to create some space there
Where?
uh, between Smith and clerk, Allen and salesman types.
So how can we do it?
How can we do? So we can create space by ename, putting say quote unquote additional space, ename plus quote unquote plus job.
So do you mean to say that I should do like this?
Yes, there is something red error line.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
what is the error here? How do we
Because
insert space in SQL? Level 16 state 1
invalid.
invalid column name.
Hmm?
This
So
can have only column names here. Okay, but if we do single quote, there it comes. Okay,
text value. Text value needs to be enclosed in quote. Space.
that's like single. I'm not getting. So this is single quote.
Yes. Yes.
So
So
there's a text value here.
yes. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, if I ask you to write a query like this, I
Hmm.
am showing you output directly.
Hmm.
I will. So I'm giving you one line. It should do it for all the lines. Hmm?
Hmm.
So my query is okay. and the output should be Smith earns 800. Sorry, Smith earns 800. So it should generate a report like this for all the employees. So what can be done?
Smith earns 800 salary. Okay. So, okay, the output is the query has actually calculated Smith's salary, which is 800. So, so it will be select e-name,
You
comma,
dictate me, right? Select
yeah,
e-name.
select e-name, comma, sal, because you want salary. And did you say annual there in your this thing,
No,
or
there's
he's
no
just
annual. There's no
okay?
annual. It
So,
Smith earns 800 salary.
yeah, so select ename, comma, cell from uh, from EMP. Yes.
Okay, so if I execute this query, it will definitely work, but it will not give the output that I'm expecting. I'm expecting a report which says Smith earns 800 salary. So the hint is I should use concatenation operator here. Okay, so what I should do is I should say somewhere some right now, let's say this much only.
Why are you adding earns? Oh, okay. There space earns plus cell from employee. Okay.
Email plus earns salary. So only do this much first. Okay, okay, I got it. Got it. There's one fine. Okay, we need to do something more for it. Actually, one is one is number and the other one is character. So it
One
is
is
creating problem right now. Okay, we'll do it later on.
okay.
I'll tell you how to do it, but we'll do it later on. Right now, you just understand this much. Okay, that right. The problem is this is salary and this is textual data, so it
Okay.
is creating problem. Okay, but we'll do this now. So far we have seen where clause. Okay, sorry. So far we have seen select and from clause. Now we are going to go to the third clause, that is where clause. Fine.
Okay.
Now what is this? Means what is the purpose of using this where clauses? It filters the data. It filters the record, not data actually. It filters the record which satisfies the condition that is given in the where clause.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So every time I do not need all the records from the table.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the times I need few records. Let's say
Mm-hmm.
I want to find out all those employees who belong to department 10,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or I want to find out those who are working as clerks, right? So in such cases, I don't need all the values. I just need only those values which satisfies the condition.
Mm-hmm.
So to get such records, I must use a where clause in my query.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. So it filter out the records and give it to you. So let us understand how to use where condition. So first, there are different operators like relational operators. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
with the help of these relational operators, we can perform different conditional checking. So
Mm-hmm.
if we say like select ename salary from employees. Now we will see here a new clause where sorry, where salary is more than 3000, like this. Okay, so in saying this, what do I get is I get only one return
Mm-hmm.
wherein salary is more than 3000. So sorry, other records will not be seen because there is only one person who is earning more than 3000. But if I say greater than or equal to 3000, then my uh, record or my report will change. Okay. So what we should understand is depending upon the operator that we use, the records which satisfy this condition, where condition, those
Yeah.
records will be given or fetched.
Mm.
Hmm? So the operators that we right now have, we are talking about, these are called as relational operators.
Mm-hmm.
So if we say that I want to find out all those persons who are not working in department 30.
Mm-hmm.
So what should be my query like?
Uh, not. Mm, no, not. Not. I'm not aware of. I
Okay,
can't. I don't think
see,
something.
can you see this operator?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that's a not equal to.
yes, exclamation equal to or less than, greater than, or caret equal to.
Mm.
So either of these operators, they are used as not equal to operators. But most of the times we use this because this works across multiple platforms.
Mm.
Okay, so I'll say, now can you tell me the query?
So not equal to. Sal not equal to. No. What did you say? Department name D name not equal to 30.
So I'll say DEPTNO. First you should write the column name, then you should write the operator, and then you should write the value. Okay, so column name is department number, operator is not equal to, and the value is 30. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
column name, operator, and value. That's how you should go for a where condition. So it should give me all the departments other than 30, right?
Mm-hmm.
I should display actually department number here so we can cross check. Fine. So let us execute this query. So as you can see, it has displayed the records without department 30.
Mm.
Fine. So that was like this. So till now, what we have seen is we are dealing with numbers so far, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Salary
Mm-hmm.
more than 30 or 5,000, greater than something, less than something, department less than, not equal to, etc. What
Mm-hmm.
about the other data type? That is also important, isn't it? So what about text data type? Okay. For example, if I want to generate a report to display all analysts,
Mm-hmm.
so what should be my query like?
Select e name, comma,
Job. Job. Select
comma
ename.
job. Yeah. Select e name, comma job from EMP, where job equal to analyst.
Okay. So tell me whether this query will work or not. Job equal to, I'm saying, analyst. Should it work?
No.
There is some kind of warning, isn't it?
Right.
Inverted column name.
Inverted column name. Job is equal to. Okay. Right.
So let us check. So there are Scott and Ford. There are two analysts in the companies.
Mm-hmm.
Getting my point. So
Yeah.
the um, purpose of discussing this query with you was to tell you that the textual values or the text data type values, they needs to be put inside single quotes.
Right.
Okay. Earlier, there was no such issue because we were dealing with numbers,
Mm-hmm.
department number, salary, etc., etc. So there were numbers, they can simply be written as it is. But if you are comparing string values, then you need to put them in single quotation marks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and also, even if I type like this and execute this query, still it will give me the result. This is the liberty given by SQL Server.
No. So
If
what
I
is the
have
difference between this one or
the
previous?
case sensitivity.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay, so it gives you the nearest match. It is not looking for exact match.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. So this way we can deal with the string values or the text values. Fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, so we can use different operators with the text values also. Now let us say I'm saying select job, something more here. There is one column if I only execute this much. Okay, do you know commenting?
No. Double hash.
Uh, two hyphens if you give, that is called a single line comment, and star slash and slash star, that becomes a multiple line comment. Now when you comment a particular line, it is ignored by the execution,
Mm-hmm.
and that particular line does not get executed. For example, right now if I want to execute only these two lines and not the where clause, then what I do is just before that line I give a two hyphens.
Mm-hmm.
So we say that this line is commented. That means even if I execute this, it will not be executed, it will be ignored.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so instead of deleting the entire thing and writing it again, you comment it.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. So now I'll execute this query. So it will only execute select and from. It will not execute where clause.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Fine. So
Right.
I'll execute this much right now. just to show you the data. That is not it. There is select, that is ename, job, and hire date. Hire date is a column that is present in employee table, which is what? Which is actually a date on which the employee was taken by the company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Hired it.
yes, these are the dates in by on which the employee was hired. Okay, for
Mm-hmm.
example, this fellow was hired on 28th, 1981. See, I want you to look at the format. Every product has a different format in which the date is displayed. As you can see here, it is MMDD format in this case.
So YYMMDD or
Um,
YYDDMM.
no, this is the date.
Why? Yeah. So it's first year and then month and then date. Yeah.
Fine. So this
Yeah.
is the date which it is displayed. Okay. So I want to display employees who joined after the year 1981.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just to tell you, I want to display all employees
Mm-hmm.
joined after 1981.
Mm-hmm.
So what should we write? The query should be what?
After 81, right? So mm, from where hire
Hire date is the column name.
hire date is the column name. So in that column name, what I can do? The date is hire date is more than
Mm-hmm.
or more than 81.
Hmm.
Hire date is more than 31st December 81.
Right. So what should be my where clause?
Where hire date is
Right.
greater than
Right.
1981 hyphen 12 hyphen 31.
So should we say like 1981? The 12,
12.
like this,
Yeah, 12 hyphen 19. Yeah, so 31st. Yeah,
right?
there is no, yeah,
Should I?
there is no error. Let's see. Yeah, there is no red thing.
Is it giving you correct?
80 high date should be greater than. So why is this bringing 81? Where high date greater than? Yeah, when you even put in quotes, then it turns into something. Yeah. Did not get it because quotes में तो last time can you make me recall आपने क्या लिखा था quotes में?
Text
Add
value.
text value थी and what was that A thing? A से आपने
Which one?
inverted quotes में what was there inside inverted quotes last time?
String values. When I have to compare string values and date
और
values, then it will be
आपने
put.
एग्जाम्पल किस चीज का दिया था पिछली बार अभी 2 मिनट पहले 5 मिनट
Yes.
पहले
Select something something from employee
या
where name is equal to analyst.
यस एनालिस्ट तो एनालिस्ट एक टेक्स्ट वैल्यू थी जो आपने
Yes.
सिंगल इन्वर्टेड कोट्स में डाल दी थी
Yeah. Right.
कोट एंड कोट में और यहाँ पे तो टेक्स्ट वैल्यू या डेट्स दोनों को यू हैव टू पुट इन इन्वर्टेड कोट कॉमास ओके
Getting my point.
गॉट इट या
So, what if I write like this? What if I write like this? Equal to 12 December uh, 81 like this.
December 81 वो किया आपने तो वो भी दिसंबर भी ले लिया उसने, right?
See, basically this is the format of the display.
Right.
Getting my point? So once I'm passing the date, it knows which is the month part, which is the year part, and which is the date part. So once you receive a date, to display in what format is pre-decided by that product. So all the dates will be displayed in this format. Fine. So if you want to change their pattern, that can be done later. Fine.
Yeah.
So just the intention was how to provide text values and date values.
Yeah.
In the where condition. Fine. So far we have talked about the relational operators. Now there is something called as logical operators. Fine. Now these logical operators, you must be aware of their behavior and, or, and not. Not is the negation of the value or the condition, and
Right.
is it will yield true only if all the conditions are true. Okay.
And
Yes, and if there
yeah.
are multiple conditions, then all of them have to be true to get the true result. But if I'm using or, then either of the condition is true, it will yield to true.
Yes.
Right? So for and, all of them needs to be true. For or, either of them can be true, and not is negation of the given condition. Is it fine?
Right.
Okay, so if you can tell me, if you remember, we have seen priority of the arithmetic operators. Similarly, we also have priority of the logical operators. Do you know that?
No.
Okay, there is a priority for logical operators also, not, and, or. Okay, so if I'm using not, and, or all in one query, first not will be executed, then and will be executed, and then or will be executed. So again, if you want to change the priority, then you will have to put parenthesis. Right? So suppose, let's say we want to write a query like this. Just let me check the data first. Okay. Okay. I want to display clerks earning salary less than 800 rupees. So, can you think and tell me how we should structure or reframe the query?
Yeah, where job is equal to inverted quotes, single quotes, clerks, and 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 salary equals to, what was the question? Salary less than. So salary should be less than 800. There is no inverted comma there. It's a numerical value.
Hmm.
So can you select e-names salary from employee where job equals to
Hmm.
clerk inverted comma
Hmm.
what is that? Salary less than sal less than 800.
Probably
Right.
there's no one like that. But the
Okay.
query has,
Successfully executed.
right, query has successfully executed. Maybe we can say greater than 800. Okay, we will display job also, just to cross check whether they are all clerks or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So see, for the first time in the where clause we have used multiple conditions,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it? Till now we were using only one condition in the where clause, but now we are using multiple conditions. So for using multiple conditions we are using multiple operators.
Right.
So here we are using this AND operator. Now when I'm saying this AND operator, for AND both the condition needs to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Then only it will fetch those records. Instead of AND, if at all, I use OR, then will it keep on giving me the same result?
No.
No. The result will completely change.
Yeah.
I'll get together different. Now if you see, this fellow, his salary is not more than 800, but he is a clerk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This fellow is not a clerk, but his salary is more than 800.
Mm-hmm.
So either of it has to be true. Either he has to be clerk or his salary needs to be more than 800.
Right.
So only one condition can be true.
Right.
Fine. So when you are using such operators, then they check for the condition, and depending upon what logical operator you have used, it is giving you the results.
Right.
Okay. Now when I'm talking about where clause, do you remember we have used expressions?
Mm-hmm.
Use expressions in the select statement, like salary plus 10, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we can also use expressions in the where clause. For example, I can say where sal into 10 is more than 2000. Okay. So
Salary into 10 is greater than 2000. But why did you multiply by 10?
to show the expression, or I can say, let's say, where what some kind of uh, just a minute, function I may, let's say, later on we are going to study these functions. Okay, there is a function called as len. It gives you the length of the
Mm-hmm.
string. Okay, so
Right.
I'm going to display the ename. I can also use functions in the where clause. So for
Mm-hmm.
example, I can say where Getting my point? So
Mm-hmm.
it's not only strings, numbers, or dates that you can compare, but you can also compare expressions in the where clause.
Right.
Okay,
And
so
this thing becomes expression. Len ename greater than
uh,
5. This whole is expression.
so this will not work on the data. This will work on length of the data,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then there was end operators. So we have checked about this AND operator, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then we have talked about the OR operator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now let us see what will happen if I execute this query. Is it visible to you?
Yeah. Which one can you select it?
Yes, definitely. See, I'm saying select star from EMP where job is equal to manager or sal something. So this is a simple OR statement that we have just explored. Okay,
Mm.
but then this is a different query. I'm saying select star from employee where job is equal to manager or job is equal to clerk and salary less than 1000. So how
Mm-hmm.
this query will get executed?
Is this a question to me?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is simple. So it can check either of them being true, or so where job is equal to manager and job is equal to clerk and salary is less than 1,000. So anybody whose job is either manager or job clerk, in a way, both of them will be populated, provided their salary should be less than 1,000.
I'm going to execute this query.
Okay.
So we are expecting from this query that his he has to either manager or he has to be clerk, but definitely his salary should be more than 1000, right?
Right.
Okay. Is it so? Is it working properly? Can you check?
Manager or job is equal to clerk and salary less than 1,000. Pretty nice. No error. I think it should. Yeah, it's right.
No, I'm. Please look at the output and let me know.
Output. Okay, output. So there is a employee name, name, job is there. Both clerk and manager are there. And MGR, there is a column. There is a hire date also. There is salary, which is fine. I need commission department number. Select star from employee means everything. Okay, everything from employee. We did not even give this thing. Perfect. That works. That works.
I don't think so.
Salary is less than 1,000. Oh yes, yeah, because there is cases where salary is more than 1,000.
Isn't it?
But
If
job
it
is
comes in.
fine. Job is fine. Yeah,
Okay, don't
yeah.
bother about. I'll make changes to this query. Okay, we are focused on job and salary, right? So let's not bother about the other columns.
But why did it happen?
Yeah, that's what.
Salary less than 1,000. It could never be like that.
This shouldn't have happened, right?
Yeah.
See, what it is doing is when I told you that when you are using multiple operators together, it there is a priority of each
Mm-hmm.
operator.
Mm-hmm.
So what it is doing is it is performing then it is performing OR operation. Getting it? So what it is doing is performing clerk's job is equal to clerk and salary less than 1000 or manager.
So all the manager whose salary is more than this thing. Okay.
No. First it is doing AND operation.
Yes, it is doing and, but anybody whose salary is more than 1000 is actually a manager. So,
Yes.
because it says or manager, so manager it does not even check whether the salary is less than
No.
1000.
No. See, these two conditions are checked in
Hmm.
AND operator. He has to be a clerk and his salary has to be less than 1000.
Yeah,
Or he can be a manager. There is
that's what I'm
no
saying.
restriction of salary. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
But,
In manager, it's not even checking salary.
right. But is it what we want? No. That
No,
is not what we are aiming at. So
right.
what we should do to make this query work properly?
Mm, Make this query work properly. Brackets or where job is equal to manager. So first the OR operation has to be performed and then salary. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So either clerk or manager, but definitely his salary has to be less than 1000.
Right.
Okay. If right now we do not have any manager earning less than 1000, but if there was any manager earning less than 1000, his record would have been shown here.
Yeah.
Is it fine?
Right.
So that is what when we're talking about logical operators, it is first not, then and then or. That's how it's
Not and or. Okay.
fine.
And the operators, by operators you mean less than, no, and not or are logical operators, and
Yes,
the other ones are
arithmetic operators.
arithmetic
No,
operators
the
and
less than, greater than, they are all relational operators.
relational operators, right? Arithmetic are plus, minus, multiplication,
Yes.
division,
Yes.
or maybe square root.
Square root is a function.
A square root is a function which you apply, whereas plus is an operator. So what is the difference between operator and a function?
Function is we pass parameters to a function. It taking those parameters, it executes and it returns a value to you.
Square root. What could be even the parameters of square root?
We
The
will see.
value. Okay.
We are going to talk about functions later on.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Is it
Okay.
fine?
Yeah.
So to override this problem, then we used the parameters here. Sorry, parenthesis here. Now there is the same thing, but with a bit more complexity. See, for example, we have some products table here. Products 2 is the name of the table,
Mhm.
where country is India and sales is less than 500. So we are looking for all the records where country name is India and the sale is less than 500,
Mhm.
or country is France and sale is more than 1200.
Mhm.
So how this particular query will first get executed?
Yeah. Since the bracket are clear, so everything inside the bracket gets done, and then the
Right,
or condition gets applied.
right. So either this complete bracket or next complete bracket.
Yeah.
That's how the query will get executed. Because see, this is what when we have multiple conditions and the where condition is quite complex, then you have to be, see here domain knowledge is required.
Mhm.
So you should know which condition should get evaluated first.
Mhm.
So accordingly, you can decide the of execution of the conditions.
Yes.
Okay, so where countries India sells less than something, or countries France sell less than something, and transaction is this much. So first of all, this has to be true for both of them. It
And
can be
transaction
equal
ID.
or this, but this definitely has to be true for both the conditions.
Yes.
Okay, so that holds a top priority for the other two conditions.
Right.
Is it fine?
Right.
Now we are going to see a range of operators. So Manan, till now we have explored first of all arithmetic operators, then concatenation operator, then we have talked about relational operator, and previously recently we have talked about logical operators. Okay.
Right.
Now we
Right.
are going to go forward towards a range of operators.
Right.
Okay. So range of operators means, as you can see previously, what was happening is, if I have to check for multiple relational operators, there has to be multiple AND conditions or multiple OR conditions that we were given, isn't it? But then in this entire thing, the performance of the query degrades,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it? So for every AND or for every OR, there is an entire table scan,
Right.
isn't it? So for one
Right.
AND condition, it is going to go through entire table and scan it. For another AND condition, it is going to go again through record one to the end and then again scan it. So there
Right.
is a overload on the server for it.
Right.
How about if I check all these condition in one go only?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so go to record one, check all these conditions in one go, and then go to
Mm-hmm.
record two. So there will
Mm-hmm.
not be multiple scans, and the
Mm-hmm.
performance will be better than the previous method.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So such kind of operator wherein I have to look for a range of values, then I use this operator. The first one out of them is between and between value. The syntax of using this operator is between lower value and upper value. That's how you give it. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
let's see how to write this between operator. I want to check the values of the person's salary who lie between 2500 and 3500. Okay. So if I have to write it with and or clause, what I'll say, where salary greater than equal to something something and salary less than equal to something something, isn't it?
Right.
So
Right.
I'll be writing multiple operators.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of that, I will check, I'll say where ename, let's say sal from employee, where now I will not be using and operator, but I will be using where salary column name comes first. Okay, where
Mm-hmm.
column name and then operator, where salary between between and 2500 is the lower limit and 3500 is the higher limit.
Mm-hmm.
Getting my point?
Right.
Okay, so and the advantage is these values, they are inclusive of the lower and upper boundaries.
Right.
Fine. And I can also negate it by saying not. We have seen not operator, isn't it? So
Right.
I can not, not between. So
Mm-hmm.
it will exclude these values.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. So in this case, it will exclude the lower boundary and upper boundary. So it will start from what, 2501 and 350, 3599 or something. Getting my point? So
Yeah.
this is what the between operator, this is how it works. Okay.
Okay.
So this not necessary that it has to work for only number. It also works with dates and characters. Fine. So I want to see those who joined on 0101 81 and
Salary between.
no, I am going to change 0101 82. So all those fellows who joined between 81 to 82. Okay.
Between high date. Okay. Yes.
So the purpose of showing you this query is it's not only with numbers, it can also work with dates and strings. Okay. Now I can also say where ename between, let's say, even this query will work.
Between Smith and Jones here. E-name between Smith and Jones.
See,
E-name
I know
between Smith and Jones.
I know that this doesn't make any sense right now. Okay. But the query is working.
Yes.
See, where would it be more useful? It's like there is a character column, let's say grades of employee. Okay, the grade is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A to G. These are the grades, and I'm interested in knowing how many employees lie between the grade A to C. Okay, so in that case, I will be writing where where
Grade.
where between, what I will write here. I'll write here
A,
A to
B.
C, isn't it? So I'll
Yeah.
receive all those employees who lie between the grade A to C.
Yeah.
So that is a logical way of telling you the example.
Yeah.
Fine. So the purpose of telling you was it supports all data types, numbers, dates, and this thing. And also I can use between along with negation, that is not, right? So that was the between operator. Then comes in operator. Okay. So in is any of the given, that is called as in. Fine. So it is like multiple ors, this or this or this or this. But the advantage is the moment it finds a particular value, the search does not go ahead. So the performance is definitely better here. Okay, so the query would give me faster results. The performance wise, if I compare multiple ors with in would always give me faster results. Okay, so for example, I'll say where let's say where sal in 100, 300, 800, and 2000. I can go on like this. It's a huge range. So this is not there. So it will first try to look for it. it is not there, so it will try to look for it. It is definitely there, and then it is not, suppose 300 is also not there, then it will try to look for 800. The moment it finds it, so see, this entire search is done only once for each record.
Mm-hmm.
So there are no multiple table scans involved in it.
Yeah.
So it is giving you the values.
Right.
Now tell me, what if there is 5,000? 5,000 is also there, right?
Mm-hmm.
800 is also there and 5,000 is also there.
Right.
So will it give me both the salaries records?
Mm-hmm.
Should it or should it not?
I'm sorry, I did not get the last part. What is the question?
My question was, both the salaries are present in the table. Smith's salary is 800 and King's salary is 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
So will it give me two records or will it give me one record? Smith and King or only Smith? What?
Can't think of right now.
Okay. So let us execute it. Getting my point?
Mm-hmm.
The search will continue like
Mm-hmm.
that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now similarly, I can say not in.
Mm-hmm.
Not in this. So other than this, it will give you the rest of the values.
Right.
Okay. And like I told you, for between operator, this also can have text as well as date values, like clerk or manager or HR, like that. So I can
Mm-hmm.
also pass text values, but then column name I have to change. I have to change it to job now. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
add job to it. So let us say I'm using the job, where job not in this, and if I want to exactly match it, I will keep in and then execute. So
Mm-hmm.
all managers and clerks will be seen. HR
Mm-hmm.
is of course not there. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
So either of them will be given. So this acts like multiple ORs.
Right.
Fine. So
Yeah.
we have seen the examples of in, we have seen the examples of between also. Now
Right.
there is a very famous operator. It is called as like operator. It
Mm-hmm.
is present in practically all the programming languages. Like is basically a pattern matching operator.
Mm-hmm.
So based on a particular thing, if you want to match a string, then you use this operator. Like, you can also negate it with not by saying not like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like and not like, these are the operators that you can use for it. Now, for this demo, let me just check. I have this P codes or not. Just give me a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I'll check whether I have this table or not. Yes. There is something called as P codes. Okay, I have a table called as P code, and it has got two columns, that is a code and quantity. Right, so there are some kind of codes. It may be a product code. Okay, and every product code has got a quantity. So and then if you can see, I want you to focus on these product codes. There are some underscores here,
Mm-hmm.
AB underscore 01 or A percentage something. Okay, these are the product codes that we are looking at. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me tell you what is this like operator. Based on a particular string or a character, if I want to look for a value, then I use this like operator.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there we use two wildcard characters for it, that is underscore and percentage. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we use it?
Are you asking me?
No, no, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Basically, I want to display all those which are starting with A. Okay, the products which are starting with A, like that. So let's say I'm saying select star from P codes where code is the column name, where code like is the operator that I'm using, and for it I am using a percentage or underscore which is used for pattern matching. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
where
Mm-hmm.
code like, because it is a string I need to put it in single quotation marks, A. So what do you see here is, I see all the records that are beginning with A,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to display all those which are beginning with, let's say, 0. There are only two records beginning with 0. Do
Mm-hmm.
you understand how it is working?
Right. So it is kind of searching the code which starts with zero. So the first place should be zero and anything after that.
Yes. See, basically, how to remember is underscore means any one character, and percentage means any number of characters, 0 or more characters.
Underscore means
Any one character,
yes,
and
yes.
percentage means 0 or more characters, any number of characters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the practical example would be, let's say I am a shopkeeper, and in my shop let's say I sell electronic gadgets of all different companies. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so there are product codes. I sell products of, let's say, LG, Whirlpool, Samsung, IFB, etc. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then my products is my product code will be LG 001 for washing machine, LG 002 for refrigerator, like that. Okay, and WH for Whirlpool. So that kind of product codes will be there.
Mm-hmm.
Am I interested in knowing product code? No, I'm not interested in knowing product code, but I want to know how many LG products am I selling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I will do in this case, where product code like LG percentage,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it will give me only those products that begin with LG and anything after that. So that
Mm-hmm.
will be a list of all the products of the LG that I'm selling,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it? Or the best example is the telephone numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we have different codes for different cities, isn't it? So if I am in Pune, 020 is the code for my
Mm-hmm.
phone number. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and after that, I'm not interested in knowing the phone numbers. I want to know my customers belonging to city Pune.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I will say select star from customers where where phone number like 0 to 0%.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'll get all the customers who belong to City Bhumi.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So in such cases where you want to match a particular string, you can use this life operator by using these patterns, that is underscores and this thing. Okay. So looking at this data, can you please tell me? I want to list products. I want to list products which have been in the second position. So how should be the query like?
From can you repeat the question?
My question is this: from P codes,
Mm-hmm.
list all products having B at second position.
B at second position, right? So the first position thing can be anything actually.
Mm-hmm.
So but it should be B at the second position.
Hmm.
Can't think of exact thing right now. But
How
I'll
will I
try
get
to.
first one? First one should be anything.
Yeah,
So
for that it should be percent.
no, percent means any number of characters.
Yeah, so I mean it should be like anything would be that should be actually space.
That is
Zero.
underscore. Underscore stands for single character, any single character.
Okay.
So I will say the first character can be anything. So one underscore.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next character should be B. And
Mm-hmm.
after B can be anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any number of characters.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Getting it. So
Mm-hmm.
all these products have B at the second position. Now if we say ending with 1, then what we should say?
Ending with
Ending with
one. So
anything ending with 1. Any number of characters ending with 1.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all the products that end with 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now if I ask you to write a query wherein I want to know how many products are 4 character long.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be what?
4 character. Not clicking. In fact, I'm saturated.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. And that character can be anything.
Any one character. One underscore means any one character.
Right, but that character can be any character.
Yes, any one character.
Yeah.
So 4 underscores means 4 characters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if you look at the data, what if I have to compare this percentage and underscore itself? Because if I give percentage or if I give underscore, it uses it for the comparison, isn't it? But I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to use it as a comparison. I want to use it as a part of string itself.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, there is an extension to it that is called as escape clause. We use escape clause. Now let us see what is this escape clause.
I would say let's wind up for today. I'm getting totally saturated.
Okay,
Only
fine.
five minutes left, and then we catch up after 25 minutes, or maybe 20
Yes,
minutes rather than. If it gets
yes.
late for me, it will get late for me.
Okay, fine.
Okay, and then we will join for Excel.
So we have some time in hand. Maybe after 15 minutes, I'll start Excel.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a different link.
Sorry.
It's a different link actually, meeting link.
Yes. Yes.
Okay then.
Okay. Bye.
Okay then. Thank you. Yeah. Bye.